Hey everyone, I wanted to talk about the downfall of Asphalt 8. Many are speculating that the game may shut down in 2025. And honestly, it seems like that's just around the corner. The game has become frustrating with so many bad changes. Events are now almost purely pay-to-win, P2W, and have lost their appeal. Exceptions like the current car hunt for SP3 are few and far between. It's evident that the game has been stripped of its joy, and there's simply less content to enjoy. One of the biggest issues has been the excessive changes in gameplay. Frequent and confusing updates to mechanics, especially regarding tuning and multiplayer systems, have alienated both new and veteran players. Many find it difficult to keep up, creating barriers for newcomers and driving away longtime fans. Then there's the impact of Asphalt 9, which has overshadowed Asphalt 8. Players are drawn to its better features, more consistent updates, and a more accessible gameplay experience, contributing significantly to Asphalt 8's decline in popularity. Microtransactions have also played a huge role in this downfall. The aggressive push for players to spend money makes it nearly impossible to upgrade cars or access in-game content without shelling out a fortune. This overwhelming cost has deterred many, labeling Asphalt 8 as increasingly unplayable. To make matters worse, the introduction of a complex currency system with up to 18 different currencies has only added to the frustration. Unlike Asphalt 9, which has a simpler and more user-friendly approach, Asphalt 8's convoluted system feels like a barrier rather than a feature, driving players away. And let's not forget about accessibility issues. Asphalt 8 is seen as much harder to master compared to Asphalt 9, which is more welcoming to casual players. This increased difficulty discourages newcomers from investing time in the game, further contributing to its decline. While I still find myself playing, it's hard to ignore these negative aspects. The progression feels minimal and almost effortless, stripping away the sense of achievement. Racing has become tedious, and the thrill is gone, especially with the harder-to-drive bikes and odd multiplayer tunes. Unlocking cars still requires effort, but it hardly feels rewarding anymore. Overall, Asphalt 8 feels like it's heading toward an inevitable end, and it's disheartening to watch it decline like this. Asphalt 8 has experienced a marked decline since 2018 due to stagnation in new content, leading to player disinterest and an exodus toward Asphalt 9 Legends. This trend was further exacerbated by major updates, such as the Fast Lane update, accompanied by the introduction of fusion coins, which altered the game's dynamics in a way that disregarded player interests. This shift resulted in a significant drop in community engagement, with the active player base shrinking from approximately 250,000 weekly multiplayer participants to around 50,000. In 2020, the situation worsened when many cars underwent class changes and price adjustments, with some seeing price increases of up to 80%. As a result, players found it increasingly difficult to afford their favorite vehicles. Furthermore, around 80% of credit cards were transformed into expensive token-based purchases, effectively turning the game into a pay-to-win scenario. This shift stripped away the thrill and reward associated with unlocking cars through gameplay, leading to frustration among longtime fans. The experience of unlocking cars, once diverse and fulfilling, was diminished by this monetization model. It alienated many players who felt that the joy of progression had been replaced by a relentless push to spend money. Adding to this dissatisfaction, the game lost many licensed cars due to expired contracts, which further diminished nostalgia and player satisfaction. The video concludes on a stark note concerning the future of Asphalt 8, highlighting that no major updates or new game modes are anticipated. This deprives players of any hope for revitalization, leaving the game feeling as though it has reached the end of its life cycle. The combination of heavy monetization practices, increased car prices, and the absence of fresh content has collectively undermined what was once a beloved racing franchise. As a result, many players have decided to move on, seeking experiences that resonate more with their expectations for gameplay and community engagement. As an avid mobile gamer, my journey with Asphalt 8 Airborne started with excitement and thrill. The game captivated me with its stunning graphics, a vast array of vehicles, and the exhilarating experience of racing against opponents on beautifully designed tracks. However, over time, my enthusiasm has waned due to prominent shifts in the game's structure and monetization practices, which I believe have detracted from the overall enjoyment of the experience. When I initially played Asphalt 8, the thrill of competition kept me engaged. The game allowed players to earn rewards through skill and dedication. Climbing the leaderboards and racing against friends fostered a vibrant community, where the emphasis was on racing skills rather than financial investment. However, as time went by, I observed a troubling shift towards a pay-to-win model. This change introduced a system where players could purchase cars and upgrades with real money, creating an imbalance that significantly affected gameplay. The introduction of the voucher system was another major turning point. Instead of providing players with rewards through gameplay achievements, the focus shifted towards obtaining in-game vouchers through monetary transactions. This complex system undermined the sense of accomplishment derived from skillful racing. Why should players have to spend money to enjoy a balanced and competitive gaming experience? This fundamental change shifted the game's focus from fair competition to financial expenditure, diminishing the joy that initially fueled my passion for racing. Frequent updates introduced new cars and features, but they often felt rushed and superficial. While additional content can be exciting, I began to question the intent behind these updates. The continuous influx of new vehicles overshadowed the balance of the game, making it challenging for less financially invested players to compete effectively. The essence of racing was diluted, and the excitement of acquiring a new car turned into a mere transactional experience rather than a celebratory accomplishment. After finding myself increasingly frustrated with the game, I decided to take a break from Asphalt 8 for several months. During this time, I explored other gaming experiences that prioritized player skill over financial investment. Upon returning to Asphalt 8, I felt overwhelmed by the pervasive monetization strategies. The competitive environment, which once thrived on skill and camaraderie, felt exploitative and frustrating. Reflecting on my experience has led me to consider the broader implications for mobile gaming. Many developers appear to prioritize short-term financial gains over long-term player engagement and satisfaction. I believe that a shift towards ethical monetization practices is necessary to restore integrity to gaming. Creating experiences that reward skill, creativity, and strategic thinking can foster a loyal player base and rejuvenate the gaming environment. As I prepare to step away from creating content related to Asphalt 8, I want to express gratitude to those who have supported my journey. I invite others to reflect on their experiences and share their thoughts on the current state of the game. Ultimately, the evolution of mobile gaming should focus on enhancing the player experience, encouraging fair competition, and fostering a passionate community rooted in enjoyment and achievement. Thank you for taking the time to read my reflections. Your input is valuable as we navigate the future of mobile gaming together.